that copyright.
No. But yeah, and that's why like I'm glad that like the term, like the new term BIPOC is like Black, Indigenous, and then people of color.
See, I have another issue with that too. Because
Oh,
I thought it was inclusive too, but it does the same thing, doesn't it? Because it puts Black and Indigenous, like, I know how it's supposed to be like Black people first and then Indigenous and then like the rest of everybody else.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like, I feel like there's also like an issue with that where it's also still putting them at the same level, because when people refer to it, it's like in the same, you know? And people aren't really taught like, so, and I also feel like it's also elitist because only people who are in higher education or like in like groups that use that word would know. Like that's what I'm saying. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Okay. But yeah, like, I don't know.
I never thought of it that way, but
because when you say BIPOC out on the streets, I'm gonna be
like Pac? I love Tupac. Hail Mary. Like,
you got a biopsy.
Like honestly, when I first heard that, because I probably just learned this term like 2 years ago, like maybe
because of COVID, right?
Yeah, in the pandemic and stuff, and just like work with like nonprofits and stuff I was doing, like they were using BIPOC, and I was like, what the heck is that? Are they trying to spell out? That's not how you. What?
That's how you spell black.
right. I was like, what is a BIPOC? It must be.
I don't understand. I
didn't even know it was an acronym.
Right.
But yes, BIPOC stands for Black, Indigenous, and People of Color, or I don't know if it's just Black, Indigenous, People of Color.
I think it's and. Yeah, but you don't even know. You don't even know. I've been using it. I mean, I'll use it in essays, get the A, but it's I don't know. I feel like it's just one of those words that I feel like also it's like, is it really bringing anybody? Ooh.
I get it.
But I don't know. I just feel like that, like we're not the same.
Yeah.
You know.
With essays, I say Black people and other people of color. When I'm, you know, especially if it's something to do with, especially when it comes to like racial issues and stuff like that, I can only write from a Black experience, and I know that that's going to be different from everyone else's experiences. So I have to kind of like separate it. I know that sometimes people, other people of color can experience the same things that we experience, because like it's like that's why I feel like when Black people succeed, we all succeed. Like when you think about the Black Panther Party, like that opened the door for so many other ethnicities and racial groups and just minority groups in general. So it's like when we're like the people who are disrespected the most and the most disenfranchised and all that are pushed upwards, then it lifts us all up to the top. But I almost forgot the point that I was trying to make. But I'm saying that's why in essays I like separate it. So like I'll say
you have to.
Yeah.
Because it's like a different, you have to make it distinct, because I feel like when people write like people of color and they include Black people, like it's not the same. And it's like it's the same thing with leveling it. You know, like we're not supposed to be doing that because it's different. You know?
And I don't think, maybe like people don't, I don't know, maybe people don't like see it because obviously that's not their experiences. I mean, it's okay. Like if you're Asian, for example, you're gonna go through certain things and experience certain disparities that other racial groups are not going to experience. And that's okay. So it's okay to say that, hey, this is a Black thing. Like this affects Black people the most, because every group that is marginalized has that experience where it's like it's not the same like in other racial groups, and that's okay. But it's, again, like with color blindness, when you mesh everybody together, then you kind of like disregard like their actual experiences and their actual like obstacles that they have to face. And when you don't acknowledge that, then how can you fix it? How can, like, if I cut my leg open, sorry, it's not going to be graphic, but if I cut my leg. When you did. Okay, I did. It was my ankle. But even better. Let's use a real life experience. When I cut my ankle, the first thing I said was, oh my goodness, like, ow, it hurts. And then what did I do? I was hopping around this place, showing everybody, look, I'm bleeding, like telling everybody, acknowledging the pain and the problem. Now, if I would have just said, there's nothing wrong with my leg. I mean, anybody could have walked up to me and be like, hey, Denisha, you know you're bleeding, right? I'm like, nah, you're bleeding too. Like, we're all bleeding. It's like, okay, but you actually, like, if none of us acknowledge that this is a problem that is, sure, I may have a cut, but you could actually have some damage, which I did have some nerve damage. But
she's walking.
Yeah, I'm walking now. But if I and other people didn't acknowledge that this was an issue, then I would have never been able to get help. Like, you know, I don't think I iced it, but like elevating it and, you know, making sure it didn't get infected.
There was that ice thingy, yeah.
When? I don't remember icing it.
Never mind. I'll be lying.
I use the like heat, like Epsom salt baths and stuff. But you know, elevating it and just doing things that I knew could heal it, because I was able to identify the problem and also the pain. I was, you know, able to articulate that and, you know, work on it. Now, it may have not healed it completely, but it would have been better. It was better than if I would have just like completely ignored it, you know, or if other people around me completely ignored what was going on and, you know, like kind of like gaslighting me like, nah, we're all bleeding. You're bleeding, I'm bleeding. We're all in pain. I'm just like, no, but my leg is actually, I can't walk.
Right.
You know, so it's, yeah.
And that reminds me of?
What?
It reminds me of like white women when they like, they have that like craze for like period blood. Like, you know what I'm talking about?
Like with the art?
Yeah, with the art and they like to draw with their period blood, which must stink. No offense, like everybody's a little fishy, you know, and and free bleeding. I think that's so like we are like I am
like
people do not have access to period products.
Mm-hmm.
People who menstruate do not have access to period products all over the world, and you have access to it and you refuse to use it. Because you want to make a statement, so you go on a marathon, a little run, a little bike ride, just like bleed through your leggings. And I'm like, is that not a sign of privilege to bleed through your leggings as a form of protest against what? You know? Yeah. And it's like, you're a weirdo for that. And I don't know, that's not me that.
I'm just thinking about the laundry and
the amount. You got those Lululemon leggings.
Yeah.
They're like $100. You just. Yeah, might as well just.
Yeah.
And a pad is what, like $7 for a pack?
Yeah.
You can't just.
And that might also like show, in its own way, like show privilege as well, to be able to do that and still kind of like maintain, like to kind of like navigate through life as if you did have access to sanitary products, like if that makes sense. Like you can free bleed, but all this laundry, or I could just buy another pair of these expensive leggings, or I could just buy all this detergent and like, or you know, like or like if you do use like the under pads and stuff like that, like because it's messy. It's messy.
It is messy. Like I understand, like it happens all the time, like when you just like, you know, leak or something, but like. Girl, you just You just walk out free.
I could not imagine doing that.
I can't. You know, it's just. It's like, what are you really doing for the world, girly? What are you doing?
I don't get that. I do, however, this would be a good time for an ad. Oh no, I'm not getting paid for this, but the Rael period underwear, get you some, okay, because it's amazing. It doesn't look and feel like a diaper. It looks like cute little vintage undies, you know, with the little ruffles on it.
Right.
You know.
Oh,
I don't
make
have
that booty big.
And it feels like nothing's there. It's really super soft. But yeah, check it out. Every menstruating person out there, no matter who you are, check out Period Undies.
And don't free bleed, because it's gross.
Or take your menstruation solution and put it in a cup and paint with it.
Yeah, because it's not a biohazard at all.
I feel like that's like, it reminds me of like when people like don't wash their hands while they're cooking, and then they kind of like let their dogs or their animals lick all over their hands, and then they continue cooking, or like something falls on the floor and they just like, that's what that's giving me.
It is, but it makes me itch more.
Oh yeah, because
Like,
I mean it's blood. Like,
are you not scared? And it's darker, I feel like. And you have to like, oh my god, some of them have to like rack it up, you know? So like, so it's like months old.
And you have to put that in the fridge, otherwise it'll.
So it's like an active biohazard, like that you've been brewing.
No, not a cooking term.
And you can't even erase your mistakes.
Like, just use chicken blood. Like, if that's the case.
That sounds like PETA. Okay, let's move on to our next question.
Okay.
Okay, we should have had a question. Hold on.
We can also, well, you can pause it.
Oh,
You can pause it.
No.
I'm gonna pause it.
No.
Oh. So we're trying to figure out what to talk about next because, well, we don't know.
We're so good at podcasts.
We could talk about, I don't know, what do our audience want to hear? Everyone,
they can answer.
What do we imagine them telling us? Okay, food, college student. I think we can't lose with college student.
What?
I mean, not lose, but like we have so much to talk about in college student. We talk about homework being due at 11:59 p.m. on Sunday.
Yeah. I feel like it's just anti-black.
You think everything that you don't like is anti-black.
No.
Be like that puppy with spots on it. He's anti-black. I don't. Why are his spots white?
He's mixed. Don't judge him.
But last summer I took a class. It was this writing workshop class, and it was from like 9 till 1. But we, like, all of our classwork and stuff, we would get all of our homework done in class. So like our classwork was our homework.
Oh.
And it was so nice. It was the best. I felt like actually mentally prepared for the class and excited for the class because I knew that it wasn't going to give me added unexpected stress, because like professors can give you a syllabus in the beginning of the semester, but they always warn you that it's that it can change.
And it does change, always.
It does. And then like this week you think that you have, you know, a quiz due, and then it's a quiz and 2 essays.
Right, and a midterm.
Yeah, a midterm. And it's like, what? Why? Oh,
It's not ruthless.
it's just ruthless, and